Kingswood Turnaround Achievement Award ceremony. A very special welcome to those of you who have been with us year after year, and I'm not surprised this has become a major event in the city. My name is Dave Morrell, and I'm happy to be here. I'm a longtime friend of Mr. Brian Johnson. We grew up together up on the hill by the university in those little story-and-a-half houses that were built for war veterans in the 40s. We're that old, aren't we? Yeah. Anyway, we had 2 kids in my house, and he had about 9. And they were stacked like cordwood in every room, but you turned all right, buddy. You turned out all right. Congratulations on all you have accomplished, in particular, this event. Yes, absolutely. This is the first in-person ceremony since 2019 due to COVID, but those students were recognized at their own graduation ceremonies, so the awards did not stop. In the past 28 years, the Kingswood Turnaround Awards has shone the light on 1,040 deserving students and handed out $516,000 to help students with the cost of higher education. That's an incredible number. And if you're not feeling good tonight, right now, you will before the night is done, I guarantee you. Before we begin our ceremony, I would like to welcome the Honorable Brenda Murphy, the Lieutenant Governor of the Province of New Brunswick. Lieutenant Governor is accompanied by her wife, the Honorable Linda Boyle, and her aide-de-camp, Lieutenant Colonel Bob McKay. Before we begin tonight, we would like to respectfully acknowledge that we stand on unsurrendered and unceded traditional Wolastoqey land. The lands of the Wabanaki people are recognized in a series of peace and friendship treaties to establish an ongoing relationship of peace, friendship, and mutual respect between equal nations. I would now ask you to please remain seated, but we are going to meet the stars of the show right now. Let's welcome the Turnaround Achievement Award recipients for 2023, piped in by Piper Griffin Priest Phillips, a grade 9 student at Fredericton High School. Congratulations to each of our recipients of the 2023 Kingswood Turnaround Achievement Awards. Tonight, it is your night, and we are here to celebrate your success. You will take your rightful place on this stage again later tonight, but for now, I invite you to join your family and friends at your tables. Or you may be seated with somebody you don't even know. And many thanks to Piper Griffin. What a great job, Griffin. Thank you so much. I would now ask Amanda Morris to please come forward. Amanda, and ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Gautam prasepote le paye, il sepote la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Amanda. Amanda is a student at Fredericton High School. This evening we are fortunate to have a number of special guests with us. We'll ask you to hold your applause until they have all been introduced. We would ask them to please rise if they would. The Premier of the Province of New Brunswick, the Honourable Blaine Higgs. The Minister of Service, New Brunswick, the Honourable Jill Green. The Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure, the Honourable Jeff Carr. The Minister of Public Safety, the Honourable Chris Austin. Honourable David Kuhn, Leader of the Green Party. Honourable Ross Wetmore, and Member of the Legislature. The Deputy Minister of Education and Early Childhood Development, Ryan Donaghy. Her Worship Kate Rogers, Mayor of the City of Fredericton. His Worship Robert Powell, Mayor of Oromocto. Her Worship Judy Wilson from the Municipality of New Maryland. Dr. Russ King, Chairman of Portage Atlantic, and Carol Tracy, Director of Development of Portage Atlantic. And it's especially nice to have you folks with us tonight. There have been so many positive mentions of Portage in our ceremonies over the years. And David McTimoney, Superintendent, Anglophone West School District. And not to be outdone, we have introduced her earlier, but the Honorable Brenda Murphy, the Lieutenant Governor of the Province of New Brunswick. And finally, the President of Kingswood and the man who came up with the idea of the Kingswood Turnaround Achievement Awards, Mr. Brian Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guests. Just a couple of housekeeping things. The important things, the washrooms are out that door. You go out there and turn right. And this evening, you may feel free to come up and take photos. But we would ask that you kind of crouch down a little bit so that other people aren't blocked. If you have an opportunity, please turn your cell phone off. I know you don't want to do that. Turn it off. Even the Premier is turning his phone off. That's a good sign. And for those of you who are going to be fortunate enough to join us up here on the stage this evening, the microphone to my right is the one you will be using. Otherwise, you will disrupt my huge stack of papers, and that will add an extra hour to the evening. I don't think you want to do that. We'd also like to thank members of the media who were in attendance, and also a special thanks to the CBC for all the pre-event interviews that they did. Now, the Turnaround Achievement Awards from Kingswood require a committee to put in a lot of hard work in organizing this event. And I would ask them to please stand up and be recognized. The chairman, Gary DiPaolo, secretaries Denise Johnson, Linda Dempsey Nicholson, Trip Lewis, Alec Trask, Laura McKenzie, Jeff Johnson, Jen Johnson, Marty Forsyth, Kim Ryu, and of course, Brian Johnson. They are the organizing committee for this event. Thank you. This type of event goes on year-round. It doesn't just happen in the spring. And we need to thank all the parents, the grandparents, the guardians, the teachers, the guidance counselors. They all work together to make this a very special night. And I'm going to stop here because you are the guardian angels among us, all of you who have made it possible for these students to be with us here tonight. You help our young people stand up and succeed. So tonight we shine the light on you. Please stand, all you parents, grandparents, guardians, teachers, and guidance counselors. Please stand up. And we thank you for all you have done in playing a role in turning around a young life. We have a short video for you folks to enjoy, highlights of some moments from past Kingswood Turnaround Achievement Award ceremonies. It'll give you a bit of a sense of the type of emotions you will see this evening. Away we go.
There is such a tribute to the kids who are receiving these awards. They have turned their lives around dramatically from some experiences that we would never imagine in our own lives.
I think they're doing an amazing thing. It shows that there is somebody out there who actually cares about good people and people who are trying to be good and trying to make their own way. It really helps.
On a given afternoon 20 years ago, two gentlemen came into my office to talk about this new initiative that they experienced in Florida. So Ernie McFadgen and Brian Johnson were so excited about this Turnaround Achievement Award program that they wanted to introduce it to the school district.
It was because of these inspirational stories of students that have had very difficult times and have turned their lives around. And so that was extremely moving. They were helping kids of many varieties get recognized for turning their lives around, kids that were going down the wrong path, and we just thought that would be a wonderful thing for this community.
I not really made a complete turnaround so far. I'm just kind of, not deep.
Every celebration that I've attended to see the pride, not only in the students but in their parents and families, to me that's such a boost of confidence that can help propel them into bigger and better things, not only in future years at school, but also after they've finished high school.
My name is Angie Aquin. I first got involved 20 years ago when I was one of the first recipients of the Turnaround Achievement Award.
She came over to me and she told me she was a first-year recipient and remembered it well and how important it was for her, and now she's a counselor in the school system here in Fredericton. And so we both were in tears and hugged, but that's how important it is to them.
And for someone to actually get to the point where they can say, I am not going to continue on the road that I've been. I'm going to turn my life around, and I'm going to start down the road that I need to be on. That's a tremendous decision, and that young man or woman needs all the support and all the encouragement we can give, because they deserve so much credit.
I just really had some hard times, and these guys have been there through the whole thing, and without them, I don't think I'd be up here today. So just thank you guys. I love you guys all.
There are a lot of times when teachers don't get the recognition they deserve, and this is one example where we have a chance to really celebrate some of the great professionals that we have in our system.
I think anyone, especially anyone who has ever volunteered, wants to make a difference. And when you can make a difference in the life of another human being, you want to step up to the plate. And that's exactly what Kingswood has done.
You've learned a lot in the turnaround you've gone through, and to pay it forward and help others, because at the end of the day, helping others could be the greatest legacy of your life.
It's not even for the recognition. You know what? They see the difference that it's made in their staff, in their classmate, and they want to have the same change in their life. And wouldn't you?
If I hadn't been able to turn it around, I'm scared I would have been one of those statistic First Nation women. And now I've broken through a lot of those barriers, and I've been able to stand tall and be proud. And I couldn't imagine life without it being like it is now.
Well done on the video. Did you do that one, Brian? I thought you did. Well done. I would now like to ask a couple of folks to please come forward and say a few words. And the first is greetings from the Lieutenant Governor, Her Honor Brenda Murphy. Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Dave. Honored guests, award recipients, and your loved ones, Linda et moi sommes heureuses d'être parmi vous ce soir. Linda and I are very honored to be here this evening to celebrate with you the recipients of the 2023 Kingswood Turnaround Achievement Awards. I imagine that each one of you are very proud of receiving this recognition, and I would say your families and friends too. There were a lot of proud faces when you folks stood up a few moments ago. Each of you have made tremendous efforts to alter your course, to overcome challenges and obstacles, and to build a strong foundation from which you can set new goals and reach those objectives. Some of you are finishing public school and starting a new chapter. Some of you are going to move to a new grade or to a new level at school. Whatever's next for you, I hope that you will be bold and dream big. You'll likely encounter more obstacles and challenges. We all do in life. And I encourage you to draw on the strengths and the internal resources that helped you to get here this evening. You really do have what it takes to succeed. This award is just the beginning. Everyone in this room is here to support you. We all believe in you. Each one of you matter. And I know that you're going to continue to make a difference in your own life and in the lives of people around you. And to the educators being honored this evening, your support leaves a lasting impact on our province's youth. Thank you for inspiring our next generation of leaders to reach their full potential. Félicitations pour vos efforts et votre bon travail. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. Merci, Willie One. We love.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would now call on the Premier of the Province of New Brunswick, the Honorable Blaine Higgs, to please come forward and say a few words. Premier.
Thank you, Dave, and Good evening, everyone. Bonsoir tout le monde. It really is a pleasure to be here to recognize this impressive group of students for their successful efforts to overcome educational and personal challenges. You know, it's often you think about what it takes to make a difference. And when I think of how this all started many years ago and you know, the thoughts of an experience of one man who decided that there's something more that in the community that he can offer and that'll make a difference in the lives of so many. And so certainly with over 1,000 or so now already under the belt, but something that'll continue for generations. And when you hear the testimonies that you see there, that means so much to individuals as this is a turning point in their lives. The least that we can do is be supportive as they continue on their journey as they have so far to go and setting off on the right path is so very important. Through the hard work and the perseverance, you've not only achieved academic success, you've changed your lives and shown yourselves and everyone around you what you are capable of. What you've done is not easy, and it's not something that you can do alone. Il n'est pas facile de faire ce que vous avez accompli, et ce n'est pas quelque chose que les gens peuvent faire tout seuls. Along the way, you've had the support and encouragement of the teachers, friends, and role models, but never forget that it had to begin with you and the decision that you made. You're the one who've had to make the decisions to do better. You're the one that had to decide to be different each and every day. And we're the ones that need to support you as you continue. Now your hard work will inspire others. It'll inspire your colleagues, your friends, your relatives. It'll make them see what's possible and the courage and dedication that you personally have shown. Votre travail enchaîné est maintenant une source d'inspiration pour les autres, car vous avez montré ce qu'on peut accomplir lorsqu'on fait preuve de courage et de dévouement. It is indeed my pleasure to celebrate you here tonight, knowing that this is just the beginning of what you will achieve in your lifetime. The lessons you've learned to get to this point will help you continue to grow and set new and exciting goals for your future. Congratulations. Félicitations. Merci.
Thank you, Premier Higgs. I would now ask that David McTimoney, Superintendent of Anglophone West School District, please come forward.
Thank you, Dave, Your Honor, and Premier Higgs, other local and provincial leaders and public service leaders, Dr. King, Ms. Tracy, and Brian, your family and team. Thank you very much for being here tonight and for celebrating some of the finest of Anglophone West School District. And we're a big school district here in Anglophone West. We have 24,000 students, 70 schools, 1,800 teachers, and we cover about 1/3 of the province. And in that big, vast district, tonight there are 27 of you that we recognize, and you should be very proud of this accomplishment and this recognition that you'll receive. I've been in the audience for many of these ceremonies and always leave feeling proud of the work that teachers do in our school district and proud of the commitment and resilience that students show year in and year out, and especially as they approach graduation. So I really hope you enjoy this evening. I hope you soak it all in and welcome that recognition. Not only you as students and recipients of this recognition tonight, but also the families who've been there and supported along the way. So thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you. You're not going far. Not only do we honor some students tonight, we're also going to honor teachers. And we're introducing the Kingswood Educator of the Year Awards, where we will recognize 2 teachers who have played a significant role in the lives of students. One teacher from each of the Fredericton and Oromocto Education Centers has been selected to receive this award. We will give the honor of presenting and reading the bios to the Educator of the Year recipients to Superintendent McTimoney, And as I call your name, if you could please come to the podium and accept your award. We'll begin with Lynn McGinn Sweeney, a teacher at Gibson Neal Elementary.
Lynn McGinn is a school counselor at Gibson Neal Memorial Elementary School who tirelessly advocates for and supports all students, particularly those who struggle behaviorally, emotionally, and socially. She can be found every morning greeting students at the front door. Her goal is to make all who enter feel welcome, which assists with a smooth transition from home to school. Mrs. McGinn carries a large caseload of students and always finds the time to check in with them, support them, and ensure they have the resources they need to be successful. Lynn has developed many positive relationships with parents, caregivers, and service providers. These relationships of trust and competency have opened many doors for students and reduced the barriers many of them encounter. She has delivered much professional development to our staff that has built capacity for the adults in the building to support the social, emotional learning of her students. She's been an integral part of the school-wide approach to positive behaviors in schools. Lynn has mentored numerous school counselors over the last 2 years, in addition to working as part of a team to support numerous student behavior plans and individualized programming. Mrs. McGinn is always up for a game of Uno, sharing jokes, learning about plants, and many other activities, all in the name of connecting with kids. She gives of her time freely to support student growth and well-being, and is a crucial member of our school staff at Gibson Neal. We are so very pleased that Lynn is being honored this evening. She is most deserving. Congratulations, Lynn.
Thank you to Mr. McTimoney and to all our distinguished guests for being here, and to Gary DiPaolo and the Kingswood Turnaround Achievement Awards Committee. It's truly a privilege to be standing here this evening. I thought I was just going to be able to sneak in and wasn't going to be all these faces that I actually know when I got into this room tonight. It's a little overwhelming. I was very confused the day that Gary called to tell me that I'd been chosen. When he said who he was, I just assumed I was coming as a counselor educator to give an award to a former student, and there are a few here tonight. When he said I was a recipient of the award, I said, oh, I'm getting a Turnaround Achievement Award? And then after the last few years, it kind of made sense that I would get one of those. And then when he said what the award was, I was speechless. It's an honor to be considered for this award. There are so many deserving educators in our district, and I am grateful to have spent the last 10 years working among some of the best at Gibson Neal and in ASDW. And thank you to the staff who nominated me this year and who continue to support and walk and sometimes run alongside me in this important work. To quote Dr. Jody Carrington, I feel seen. My hope and goal each day is that the students and families and colleagues I work with feel seen too. And thank you to all my former teachers, administrators, colleagues, and the teachers who have taught my son, many of them also in this room, who have set the bar high. Thank you to the students of Gibson Neal for helping me find my greatness every day. When I look here at the students that are here tonight, about to take this stage and tell their stories, I consider it a great honor to be here amongst you. As a school counselor, I know that you are receiving this award this evening. because you have persevered and overcome some challenges on your journey on this to get to this stage, and I'm so grateful I'll be here to hear your stories. And finally, I could not do this job without the love and support of my friends and family. Thank you to my friends, many of them who are also educators themselves, who always know the perfect mean to send me on a Thursday. And to Mike and Nolan, my biggest supporters, thank you for always believing in me and trying to keep the kitchen clean and understanding why I fall asleep during every show we try to watch. Thank you. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you very much, Lynn. Most deserving. I've now asked David to present the next award to Greg Weber from Fredericton High School.
Greg Weber. Greg is in his 5th year of teaching at Fredericton High School and 10th year overall, having previously worked at Minto High School and George Street Middle School. He teaches guitar classes, having studied classical guitar at McGill University, but also teaches the recording and sound design course, directs the 60-member concert band, and heads up the Tom Morrison Theatre and its technical crew, which supports dozens of performances and presentations each year, both school-based and for outside groups. Greg is always taking time between classes and before and after school to show students how to restring a guitar or how to construct and safely use scaffolding. He comes in on weekends to supervise the tech crew, who are providing lights and sound for a theater rental. With the concert band alone, Greg puts in over 100 hours of rehearsal a year, plus our usual 4 concerts here at Fredericton High and arranging opportunities for the band to play out in the community. Post-COVID, he's also resumed a final concert for his guitar students at a performance venue downtown. He goes the extra mile to give students an opportunity to shine. One of Greg's greatest traits is his big heart. He often takes students under his wing, whether they turn up in his classes, the band program, or especially the tech crew. He has taken many troubled students and brought them into the tech crew, where they learn a lot about independence, as well as some marketable skills related to the performance industry. One was an Indigenous student who was living on his own. Greg brought him into this tech crew by request and helped give the student a sense of purpose. The student went from failing grade 11 to attending St. Thomas University after 2 years in Greg's homeroom. Another similar situation occurred when a student was recommended by another homeroom teacher. Again, the student had not been successful with some courses and was struggling in school, but who became a real workhorse in the tech crew, often running shows by herself on weekends unsupervised and becoming Greg's most reliable member. Greg can bring out the best in young people, and they trust him. Often they will come to him to help work out a personal situation with their friends or their home life. Greg can often be exhausted by the effort and emotional investment, but we've never seen him turn a student away who needed his time, and the buy-in and payoff he gets in return is remarkable. Greg Weber has an immense impact on the Fredericton High School environment. This is due to his expertise, his commitment, his high standards for himself and others, and his compassion. Congratulations, Greg Weber.
Okay. Won't mention as a tech crew operator, I won't mention it. Okay. something around the 4K. Anyway, so I need to start by thanking my immensely supportive wife. And I put this at the beginning because I tend to ramble and forget what I'm doing. And she's the one that convinced me to answer the phone when Gary called on Easter Monday. Fun fact, my phone number is 1 digit away from the Superstore meat department. 9 times out of 10, if someone's calling who I don't know, it's for the price of brisket, which I know nothing about. So thank you to my wife. I don't feel I deserve this recognition, but I was told I need to take it and speak anyway. And talking about teaching is like dancing about architecture, but here we go. The first question I remember being asked in a job interview was brilliant. I thought they just said, "Why do you want to be a teacher?" And thankfully, I didn't think about the answer so much. I just said because I had incredible teachers. So when I was 6 years old, my mother, Jane, who's back there, my older brother had what we call a learning exceptionality now. And then it was he just didn't want to learn. So she took it upon herself to open up her own kindergarten in the basement and get her master's in special needs education. And my dad built the bookshelves and the picnic table for that kindergarten and would send me out to the car to take parts off it with a manual and some tools and said, "Figure it out." And this is great. One time I made my mother angry because I made this, I think, brilliant Lego vacuum, but I destroyed one of her Tupperware bins in order to do it. But it worked very well, and technically I was cleaning my room. The thing is that I was raised by teachers, both formal teachers and people that just need to teach. And I also, one of my other guests here tonight is Rick Hall, who is my grade 11 and 12 advanced English teacher, who probably did more to support me as a musician as much as a writer and a reader. And he just spoke to his students like we were adults, like not beings in waiting, It's one of those things that I try really hard to carry on. And I just think that I've got a longer speech, but I'm not going to, there's a lot of people that you need to hear from that are much more interesting. But the thing is I try to give kids a real confidence, by putting them in a situation where they can do something themselves and where it's accomplished, and then they actually feel that. So I don't really teach people. I put them in situations where they get that themselves. And I think that's the only way that I know how to do it. And just thank you so much. And I'm very excited to cry a whole lot this evening. I made it through this, so that's good. And I've got so many amazing colleagues in this audience. It's just really fun to see you all here. And Amanda's one of our music students that I get to conduct who sang the national anthem. So it's a happy day. And there's a gentleman, Jaden Resner, whose brother's receiving an award, who I taught grade 7 social studies to way back when. I don't feel old. It's good. It's good. It's also my birthday, so that's fun. Anyway, thank you so much.
I'd go back to school for you. Some people say I should. Before we begin our student presentations, it's worth noting that over the years, the Kingswood Turnaround Group has been instrumental in lending assistance and expertise to other locations. There are now Turnaround Achievement Awards in Bathurst, St. Stephen, St. John, and in Nova Scotia. And Kingswood is pleased their passion has been contagious and others are looking after young lives, and hopefully this trend will continue right across this great country of ours. Right now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for this evening, Britton Bancroft. Britton has quite a story. He's a provincial trades teacher and journeyman mechanic from Minto, Former graduate of Minto Memorial High School, has lived and worked in Newfoundland as well as the Northwest Territories. Britt's career path has taken him through St. Thomas University, college at NBCC and CONA, the College of North America, and currently part-time at Crandall University. He has had over 10 different jobs since leaving high school, but teaching is his favorite. Just to prove that anyone can achieve their dream, Britt decided to audition for Canada's Smartest Person back in 2016, and guess what? He's the smartest person in Canada. From the small village of Minto, who knew? And he was crowned Canada's Smartest Person. When he's not in the classroom, he enjoys leading Minto's high school car club, coaching the girls' soccer team, playing video games, spending time with his family. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Britton Bancroft.
Thank you very much. Good evening. There's a lot of people. I thought about starting this off with a joke, but I've been told by a number of my students that none of them are funny. More specifically, the only jokes that I know are bad dad jokes. If you don't know what a dad joke is, it's apparent. It's usually apparent after the delivery. Anyway, moving right along. In thinking about this celebration and this speech, and what tonight is really all about, that's each of you recipients, a number of things really hit home to me. The Kingswood Turnaround Achievement Award has been celebrating student success since 1994. It gives special recognition to students who persevere, who overcome, who succeed despite enormous physical, personal, and academic challenges. Success in high school is frankly hard, especially in this day and age. Each of you has conquered challenges that were pretty much non-existent when I was in school. When I was in school, social media did not exist. The cell phones were pocket-sized bricks with very limited functionality that you made phone calls on. The worst health crises we had to deal with were seasonal illnesses. Imagine that. But each of you, wow, COVID, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, mental health, other stuff. And yet here you are. You have seized the day and slayed the dragon of academia. Be proud. Now, I am extremely confident that as you get closer and closer to graduation day, you will be given a plethora of advice from teachers, parents, older siblings, guardians, and that strange uncle from Ontario. Therefore, I will not be giving any of you advice today. You are educated people now. Rather, today I want to give you words of encouragement, words of caution, and the challenge. And I promise to be brief. Adding this speech to the list of things you survived will not be necessary. First off, words of encouragement. High school for me was hard too, in its own way. I struggled with bullying and mental health. I am very pleased to tell you that the world after high school is much different. It is a fresh start in the truest sense of the words. The classmates you will have at college or university will not care about where you came from or what your high school experience was. It is who you choose to be in that moment that matters. If you go to work, your coworkers will care that you are pleasant and present. It is an opportunity to reinvent yourself into the person that you want to be. The past is the past, the future is yours. Relish it. Now, you will make mistakes and change your mind. That's okay. When I finished high school, I wanted to be a history professor. And then I took early modern Europe with Dr. John Jennings at St. Thomas and hated it. Then I wanted to be a corrections officer, and I couldn't find work, and so I moved across the country, and I still couldn't find work, and then I had to fix my car because I had no money, and I loved it. So I became a mechanic for 10 years. And then I saw Minto High needed a shop teacher. And now I'm back in school, working on my education degree part-time. Along the way, I made mistakes, I followed some occasional bad advice, and I changed my mind. That imperfect journey is why I'm here, which, when you really stop and think about it, is hilarious. Life frequently is. But my point is that no journey is from A to B, unless you're following Google Maps. Secondly, a word of caution. You are facing a world where it is too easy to compare yourself with the very best of others. Instagram photos, Facebook posts, and whatever Snapchat does are a painfully inaccurate glimpse into the lives of other people. The reality of how complicated, messy, and frustrating life actually is does not get likes, shares, or retweets, and so it's not shared, which leaves you trying to compare your current reality with a distorted sense of the same. I urge you to measure your success by your own plans and desires. The definition of happiness is different for everybody. Make sure that your picture of success is yours, not your friends, not your parents, and not that distant cousin with a beachfront condo in Hawaii. Finally, a challenge. Do all the things. Different things, challenging things, things you never imagined trying. Before entering trade school, I had changed my oil once. I had never used a wrench, never used a ratchet, and it worked out. When I started teaching, I was shown how to take attendance and where to put marks in. And it worked out. And in 2016, I saw a random ad online looking for contestants for a CBC game show called Canada's Smartest Person. I applied for fun, and it worked out. My point is that none of these events were things I had ever done before, and they were still worth trying. And before I forget, make a little time for just messing around. It sounds silly, but it has value. Messing around online got me on TV. Messing around with my car in 2009 brought me here today. People messing around has led to the invention of penicillin and the microwave. My point is that much has been accomplished throughout history by just messing around. So make time for that. And in closing, the part you're all waiting for, I want to congratulate each of you on the things that you have done, the things that you will do, and I wish the very, very best for you. May you live long and prosper. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello? He's not part of that tech group, I hope. That's okay. We all fall asleep at times. The Turnaround Achievement Awards are coveted. There's no question. So I'll briefly explain the ceremonial proceedings. Each recipient will be escorted to the podium. Following the presentation and acceptance speech, you'll make your way through the receiving line. Each student this evening will receive the following: a pewter medallion. Thank you again to David and the district. A certificate from Premier Blaine Higgs. A certificate from Member of Parliament Jenna Atwin. A certificate from the Minister of Education and Early Childhood Development, Bill Hogan. And a certificate for each grade 12 student from Kingswood. And we would ask the following to please form the receiving line: Premier Higgs, Brian Johnson, and David McTimoney. I will introduce the student, the school they attend, and their presenter. These awards are coveted, and as such, other students are driven to receive one of their own. And we will start at Cambridge Narrows Community School, Monique McPherson Beck, grade 12 student, and the presenter is Natasha Duthright.
Good evening. Cambridge Narrows Community School is very proud to present this year's Turnaround Award to Monique here. She is graduating in June with honors, has been accepted to Mount Allison University, where she will start with her Bachelor of Arts degree with the focus of psychology. Monique didn't always like school. She also didn't put much effort into her schoolwork. But since grade 10, she has changed her outlook on school life. She has found her passion, worked hard to get there. She's a fantastic writer and has found her peer group that encourages her to be herself. Her grades and attendance have improved drastically. We are very proud of the young person she is becoming and can't wait to see what she achieves. We wish her all the best of luck in her years to come.
No, right here if you want to talk.
Do you want to say anything?
Would you like to say a few words?
Sure.
Go for it.
When I was younger, I was diagnosed with ADHD, which for me drastically impacted my ability with social events and the ability to make friends. Since then, I have also been diagnosed with anxiety, funny enough, large crowds, as well as depression. And that really impacted my focus on what I wanted to do with a career and my outlook on actually attending university, which when I was younger I was adamant about not attending. I also, for many years, was not the best reader or writer, and for that I must thank my teachers, specifically Miss Bailey, who will probably find out tomorrow that I said this, and a teacher that came to school at Cambridge last year, Mr. Black. Since then, I have found my love of reading and writing, and have been, since the beginning of this year, writing my own book. When I found out that I had won this award, I was shell-shocked. It was the last 10 minutes of school, and I was found completely unaware. And my friends kind of helped me shake my head a bit. My teachers have helped me, led me really, to the person I am today. And yeah, that's kind of it.
Come on over this way, folks. Congratulations, Monique. Our next recipient from Hanwell Park Academy is Isaac Thompson, a grade 8 student, and the presenter is Stephen Stone.
Okay. So many of us go through our days on automatic pilot. You get up, do your morning routine, hopefully have a good breakfast, maybe get out for a walk or head to the gym, and then head to school or work, ticking off the boxes of each day's demands. You finish your day feeling drained or uplifted or somewhere in between. Get supper, become the taxi or the taxied, and head out to that night's activities. You get home, go through your wind down, head to bed, and shut it down for the day. Rinse, wash, repeat. Isaac's world hasn't been this simple. While his challenges started to show themselves in grade 3, they bloomed in grade 7. It started in September, with Isaac having a hard time getting out of bed in the morning, timed well enough to make sure that his parents would have to drive him to school. In October, frequent hand washing, changing his clothes multiple times a day, and taking so many showers each day that there wasn't any water left for the rest of the family. Isaac's parents, Ruth and Tom, took him to the doctor, but he wasn't ready to pinpoint where his anxiety was coming from. The CUPE strike in November of 2021 brought a slight reprieve as he was able to do online school. When he returned to in-school learning, his compulsions escalated until the Christmas break. When students returned to school in late January, the emphasis on hand sanitizer and hand washing were taken to extremes by Isaac, and he started to use them so frequently that his hands would bleed. For Isaac, if the paper towel had touched something that wasn't clean, he would start washing his hands all over again. It wasn't uncommon for him to go through this process 5, 7, 9 times. The thought of items being contaminated led to constant clothes washing, endless hot showers, and a variety of other routines to ensure everything and everyone was safe. Grade 7 came to an end, and although summer was hopeful for improvement, it brought about a new realm of worries for Isaac. Not only could he no longer touch public doors or chairs, he also started to avoid having friends over or going to their houses. And while all of this was happening, Isaac was starting to realize that he couldn't keep living this way, being stuck in a daily loop of shower, get dressed, but then starting over because his pants had touched a wall or it was becoming too much. He went to his parents and asked for help. He needed to change. He wanted to change. Ruth and Tom set up an appointment for the second week of September. Isaac's anxieties impacted his attendance significantly this school year. Between September and December, he might have made it to school 9 days. He was, however, working towards a solution. With the support of his family, counseling, and a lot of hard work on Isaac's part, Isaac made a full return to school in January and has missed very few days. And the ones he did is because he broke his wrist playing ball hockey at the school. We know that his being at school takes extra effort and significant willpower, yet he does it every single day. We couldn't be any prouder of Isaac and the work that he has done and continues to do every day to make sure that he can thrive at school, and we are honored to have Isaac as the first ever recipient of the Turnaround Achievement for Hanwell Park Academy. Congratulations, Isaac.
Well done, Isaac. You got this, buddy. Our next recipient, Ridgeview Middle School, Lawrence Baribeau, grade 8 student, and the presenter is Heidi Muse.
Good evening, everyone. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I am a teacher at Ridgeview Middle School, grade 8 teacher. And one of the things that I am known for at my school is 8B is the best. And I'm going to introduce to you one of my students, Laurence Baribeau, because she is one of the best. This evening, I am pleased to present this award to a very deserving grade 8 student, Laurence Baribeau. When I first met Laurence on her first day of grade 6, she was eager and clearly anxious to start middle school. She wore this sweet little princess dress. She talked about life in Quebec, and she was clearly very anxious. She shared about her 3 younger brothers, her mom being away for work, and how leery she was to start at a big middle school. Laurence faced many challenges, more than the average grade 6 student. She was struggling emotionally and academically, as well as dealing with challenges that come with being a military child. Being Francophone in an Anglophone school added another barrier. Academically, while Laurence understood most of her work, she needed plenty of prompts and encouragement to complete assignments. There were days where she felt overwhelmed, both socially and academically. She was often out of the classroom, seeking support and attention from adults, and she didn't have many connections with her peers. Most of grade 6 was a struggle for Laurence to regulate her emotions and focus on her academics. Several days resulted in tears trying to cope with life's challenges. And that's what she just said to me out there. She's like, I don't really remember much about grade 6. I just remember crying all the time. Couple this with returning from COVID lockdowns and being bubbled in classes, it was difficult for Laurence to make connections, and her anxiety was high. However, with lots of support from her teaching team, she completed the year with some success. Grade 7 started with plenty of anxiety for Laurence, but something was different as the year went on. She started to engage more with her peers, and she was not seeking out adults as often. She felt unsure. However, she found confidence and purpose working with students with special needs. She gradually gained more independence, problem solved on her own. She relied less on her teachers and staff to help her get through the day. In grade 8, Laurence has blossomed. She has matured into an independent, responsible young adult. Academically, she has gained confidence. She is now currently working at grade level. Her English has dramatically improved over the years. Laurence continues to be empathetic to others, and she is always willing to help around our school community. Laurence is punctual to get to class. She offers support to her classmates, and she is always smiling, not that sad little girl from grade 6. When faced with friendship struggles, she has handled it maturely, accepting that life is not always easy and you have to move on. Regularly, she invites peers to join her conversations, others seek her out, and she is a good friend to her classmates that they can count on. We see her trying her best, looking for ways to improve her work and not giving up if she is unsure what to do. Laurence is a wonderful role model to her younger siblings and cares a great deal about her family. Her sense of humor and her positive attitude have made her a confident young lady. This achievement has been a long time in the making. We are hopeful that this growth will continue as Laurence enters high school and in her future endeavors. On behalf of the staff and students at Ridgeview Middle School, we congratulate you, Laurence.
Good job. It's not so bad. Now we're going to get off this. There you go.
Would you like to say a few words? No? Okay. By the way, any of the recipients, up to this point, we've had a couple of no's, but any of you who would like to say a few words, fill your boots, okay? Within a certain amount of time. Our next recipient from Chipman Forest Avenue School, Lily Roberge, a grade 12 student. The presenter is Jill Yates.
Lily moved to New Brunswick from Alberta with her Aunt Janet when she was in grade 9, with the intention of turning her life around and having a fresh start. She has done that, and she credits her aunt with playing a crucial role in helping her develop a good life for herself. In grade 10, Lily moved to Chipman with her dad. The very first day that I met her in my classroom, I could tell right away that she was a person who was determined to do well. In the beginning, I was not aware of the struggles that she had endured in her life. It was probably about a year later before she was comfortable enough to open up to me. She's a very private person and really does not like to share a lot about her life. But believe me when I tell you, she is a perfect example of a student that is resilient. She really amazes me with what she has overcome with her family and in her personal life. She was able to bounce back from life's stresses and struggles and still strive for success in the future. Not every day was a good day, but she was able to keep going and work through the emotions that she carries from her past. Sometimes life's limitations and challenges can inspire us to strive for success in our future, and she has definitely decided to do that. Everywhere she goes, she makes a good impression with her determination, maturity, and willingness to learn. She completed a work placement last semester as part of her Essential Skills program at the J.D. Irving office. They loved her so much that they've offered her summer employment this summer. This year, she will be the first of her siblings to graduate from high school. She has been accepted to NBCC in Fredericton and will be attending the Business Administration program with a focus on accounting. I so look forward to hearing where life takes this determined young lady. I'm so proud of you, Lily, and keep reaching for the stars. Take my glasses off and this. Do you want us to come down this way?
No, if you'd
No,
like
she
to
doesn't
see
want to
if you were
speak.
to- No?
This way, this way.
Congratulations, Lily. Now to Macadam High School. Boyd LaRiviere, grade 12 student. Matt Clements is the presenter.
Don't be nervous, Boyd. You're not the one who found out at the event that every single one of his bosses was in the room. Including 2 of my theater students who are avidly watching right now as for how I speak in public. Macadam is pleased to present Boyd LaRiviere with a Turnaround Achievement Award. Boyd is a grade 12 even, student, I just did that for you, who will be pursuing a post-secondary degree at UNBSJ in the fall. And as a newcomer, one of the many newcomers to our province, I leaned into my staff this afternoon and said, should I say UNBSJ? Should I not say, University of New Brunswick? No, if you say that, no one will know what you're talking about. Boyd exhibited great strength and conviction as he changed schools, even provinces, midway through high school, adjusted to a new home, and made important decisions about his future and how to get there through perseverance and achievement. An exemplar of commitment, Boyd is also an avid athlete, and basketball is certainly his passion. He has been a key part of our basketball program while still managing to succeed academically at Macadam High. Boyd, the staff at Macadam is so proud of you and how you have taken your circumstances and turned them around to a series of accomplishments that will set the stage for your future goals. Good luck at UNBSJ. I'm not going to fumble, Got the basketball star watching how I handle this. There you go. Good job.
Want to say a few words?
Yeah. Well, this is truly a blessing to receive this award.
As he stated, I've traveled a lot across Canada. I've lived in a lot of different provinces and a lot of different life circumstances. So to be here, it is a really great honor. I'd like to thank my aunt and my girlfriend, Mr. McClements, and the staff of McAdam High School. Without a lot of them, I would never have truly ever gotten to be at this place. So thank you all, and I hope the rest of them have a good time as well. There you go.
Thank you, Boyd. Our next recipient, also from McAdam High School, also presented by Matt Clements, Trinity McEachern, a grade 7 student.
Just imagine I said something really funny, or I said it earlier. It's awesome. Okay. McAdam High is also pleased to have chosen Trinity McEachern for a Turnaround Achievement Award at the middle school level. Trinity is a grade 7 student with a love of art and a knack for making others feel better. More on that later. Trinity has an unparalleled energy that she puts forth in everything she does. She has demonstrated strength as she persevered through difficult times and embodies commitment to promoting positive mental health, inclusion, and diversity. On a personal note, as I was brand new to McAdam in the fall and the first days of school, Trinity was the first student to introduce herself to me in the hall and genuinely welcome me. I didn't know the students. I barely had a chance to start to meet the staff, and it was a really, really special moment to me. Very special. And I will always be grateful for her and her kindness that she showed to the new kid, the oldest new kid at school. Thank you very much, Trinity. Congratulations. I've got a wealth of metal on me tonight. There we go. Ready? There we go. Oops, there we go.
Stuck in my hair.
Ready? Okay. Congratulations.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. If this is a bit messy, I did not know I had to say anything or anything, so sorry about that. I would like to say thank you for this award. It's such an honor. A few weeks ago, I didn't even know what this was, so when he told me about it, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. What is that? So I did not know. Then when I figured out, I was flabbergasted. Had no clue what it was. And I would like to say thank you to my parents, because they've always been there for me for everything. And they've always believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. And I would like to say thank you to my aunt, because she's kept me probably who I am right now. She's always kept me nice and all that. She made sure I wasn't a rude, obnoxious kid or anything. So thank you to her. And he's not here right now, so no one tell him that I say this about him. But I'd also like to thank my brother, who's always been there for me. Whenever I'd have nightmares or something, he would always let me sleep in his room or anything. And sometimes if I was sad, he would just take me to the local store so I could get a treat or something. And even though he's annoying, I still love him. And I'd like to say thank you to two teachers. I don't even know if they're going to know I say this or not. But Mr. Morehouse and Mr. McMullen, they've always kept me kind of just smiling and stuff, just kind of being there without even knowing, I guess. And thank you to him as well, because he wasn't always my math teacher, but when I did transition into him being my math teacher, he didn't push me or anything. He did, but in a good way.
Hands free.
Yeah, but he was just kind of I don't know how to explain it, but just, yeah. Yeah. Thank you again.
You did great. I think so. Yeah, there you go.
Well done, Trinity. Our next school, or our next recipient, comes from Leo Hayes High School. His name is Ethan Lozier. Ethan is ill this evening and unable to attend. However, Lori Holland is going to tell you all about Ethan, who is a grade 12 student. Lori?
Just first off, I was waiting in the wings with Trinity, and she's the youngest recipient this evening. I just thought that was really neat, so well done to her. And I just met her, but I've known Ethan Lozier for quite some time, and I just want to thank you for providing me this opportunity to share a little bit about him. And as Dave already said, his family and he are under the weather, so I hope they'll be able to view this at a later date. Ethan is incredibly brave. I'm not confident that he would describe himself that way, but I intend to tell you why he is and why he deserves this recognition. I met him in June of 2019, and it was as part of a transition to high school. And at the time, I learned he was struggling to attend school and that he often became emotionally escalated to the point of screaming, crying, swearing, saying hurtful things about himself and others. When Ethan started high school, I witnessed many of these episodes, and Ethan's school support team worried for his safety as we watched him run away from school in a distraught state on more than one occasion. Ethan was in pain. He struggled to understand who he was and how he fit into the world around him. His negative thinking about himself would consume him, leaving him emotionally wrought. And as someone watching him spiral out of control, I struggled to support him. There were many days when Ethan spent hours away from others, battling his own thoughts and insecurities, to the point that he became emotionally and physically drained. And it was not uncommon for him to sleep at school at the end of these sessions, which happened several times a week. Yet, at the end, when Ethan was back to himself, he would show gratitude to those who supported him in his clearest moments, and he would say, "I need help," and proceed to explain what was happening inside his head. And I say Ethan is brave because he shared his barrier with those around him, which in turn gave us the opportunity to say, "How can I help?" I recently learned of this concept of sharing your barrier and its essential role in inclusion. And while I recognized how vulnerable and brave a person is when they say, "I need help," I had never made the link to how it fosters inclusion. And afterwards, I wondered who I knew that embodied this and how they had succeeded as a result. And Ethan Lozier immediately sprung to mind. Because Ethan was brave enough to share what he needed, those around him could work to get him the supports he needed. Because he wanted to do better and be better, he would listen and try strategies to stay calm. And because Ethan wanted to be included and have better relationships with others, he knew he needed to do the work necessary to improve how he responded to stress. And he's come through many challenges, and he continues to thrive because he advocates for himself. I've watched him pull himself up over the last 4 years, and I have confidence that when he graduates in June, he takes with him this essential skill to be brave and share his barrier in order to continue to grow and accomplish his goals. And I can think of no better candidate for the Turnaround Achievement Award than Ethan Lozier, a young man who has the guts to turn around from struggles by advocating for what he needs to succeed. And I'm grateful that he taught me this lesson. And I just wanted to thank him for inspiring me to be brave. So thank you.
Well done, Lori, and please give our best to Ethan. You will see him before we do. Our next recipient, also from Leo Hayes, Ryan Flynn, a grade 12 student. Blake Edwards is the presenter. Blake?
Hi, everyone. So this is Ryan. Ryan came to us about 4 years ago, but wouldn't step foot in the school in grade 9. They suffered from major anxiety, fear of school. By grade 10, we saw new commitment and progress in academics. By the end of grade 11, Ryan began to connect with us and was more social with their peers. This was a major step for Ryan, who initially would not engage much with anyone in a school setting. The commitment to schoolwork noticeably improved in grade 12. Ryan grew even further in their academic coursework, completing assignments with tenacity and worth. As well, socially, Ryan broke out of their shell even more and developed a good peer group at the school. It has been a pleasure to see the progress in their social and academic circles, not to mention their mental health strides. They are currently volunteering at the Greater Village to help with the community. For this, we have nominated them for the Turnaround Achievement Award. I gotta stay up here for the next one.
And we'll keep Blake right here. Our next recipient is from Leo Hayes, Caleb Dunn, grade 12 student. Caleb.
This is Caleb. All right, Caleb came to Leo Hayes and the Learning Center as an angry young man. He was easily frustrated and walked out of things that weren't going his way. He lived with his sister and her baby. Caleb was helping out at home with the baby and working to provide. This made regular attendance difficult. He would attend periodically, finish a couple of courses when time would allow, and then off he would go to work or to babysit for his sister. This cycle continued for years. Early in grade 11, he struggled in many ways and had walked out once again. We never saw him for the rest of grade 11 that year. He returned in September 2023 this year, or last year I should say, this year. However, as a changed person, calmer, collected, and focused. He knew what was necessary for graduation and beyond. He completed his last course requirements while working 2 jobs to help support his sister and her child. We are very proud of his accomplishments and wish him every success for the future.
Suppose I'll just say thanks to you and the other teachers at Leo and my parents and everyone that really supported me and got me to get out of bed and go to school and kind of get my stuff together and really pushed me to do the best I could and get my responsibilities in order and really, honestly, I don't know what to say other than that. So thanks for listening to me and good night.
Oromocto High School is the location of our next recipient. Grade 12 student, Caitlin O'Toole, and Marjorie Earle is the presenter.
It's my honor to have Caitlin O'Toole up here with me tonight. She came to OHS from Ontario and had many obstacles to overcome. She began with partial days and she struggled to get through just a couple hours at school. As Caitlin became more comfortable at the school and confident in her abilities, she was able to stay for her entire planned day and then start extending her day. Soon she was actually attending academic classes with support, and now in her last year, she has been able to attend classes independently, knowing support is always available for her if needed. She's completed her classwork ahead of schedule, stays on track with her peers, and she's even taken on a part-time job. I am so proud of her and how she has helped other students and her family as she is able. She plans to continue on with work when she leaves us in a couple months, and I think she's going to do great. You want to say anything or no?
I'd like to thank my dad and my sister, mostly my mom and my brother. Honestly, I wouldn't know what I'd do without my family because I think I'd probably be like nowhere without my family. And I'd like to thank Miss Earl for supporting me on the sidelines. And she probably wouldn't, stop telling me to get to class. And she always told me, get to class, be there on time. Like, honestly, I once called her annoying, but on a real note, she's probably one of the best EAs/resource teachers you could ever possibly have. So if you ever have a child, student, or etc., come to OHS, always have them under Miss Earl or etc. Because Miss Earl, she's always there, she's always listening, and she's one of a kind. So I highly recommend Miss Earl. So I don't know what else to say, but I also say I've been through ups and downs, and that's all I'd like to say. But thank you for everyone for coming out.
Well said, Caitlin. Staying with the Oromocto High School theme, we will invite grade 12 student Olivia Bonner to the podium along with her presenter, Maxine McConnell.
Good evening, everyone. Olivia Bonner, she came to Oromocto High School in September of 2020. Who can forget 2020? She arrived at her new educational environment with over 1,000 students, multiple teachers and classes in the run of a day, and to top it all off, her grade 9 year was rotational days due to the pandemic. Olivia tried very hard to do what was required of her as a student, but it was a struggle for her every day. Usually me chasing her down the hall saying, put your mask on properly. Her busy grade 9 classes of 29 students plus was overwhelming for her, and she would often ask to be excused from class, only to be found wandering the halls, hiding out in a bathroom, sitting in the cafeteria, or she would just disappear on me. I talked to her mom a few times. As grade 9 moved into grade 10, often Olivia would come to school but not attend her classes. Other days, she would just not come to school. Her mom and I would talk often during Olivia's grade 10 year as her anxiety and mental health were ongoing struggles, and she was not always making good choices for herself. Towards the end of grade 10, Olivia and I were completing some work together for her PDCP class in my office, and she mentioned she liked working independently and in a quiet space. So as she finished out her stressful grade 10 year, the decision was made for Olivia to start her grade 11 year in Oromocto High School's Compass program. In this one-on-one learning environment where there were considerably less students and learning occurs at a different pace, Olivia has flourished. She hardly has missed a day, and she was able to complete the courses required to graduate early, 1 year early. Her work ethic has been strong, and she's found success every day and finished her coursework about a month ago. So she hasn't been to school for about a month, on purpose. So Olivia has certainly overcome huge obstacles, and we are all very proud of her. This is a big week for her. Yesterday, she got her first car, today a turnaround award. So congratulations to Olivia Bonner.
Well done, Olivia. Enjoy that new car. Your parents are happy it's not a motorcycle. Oromocto High School is the home of our next recipient as well, a grade 12 student, Dakota Nash, and the presenter is Molly Nugent.
See me? Good evening, everyone. In her early years, Dakota struggled with consistent attendance and academic engagement. Though those who taught her were always quick to recognize her ability and potential, the traditional high school program was a barrier to her success in grade 9 and 10. When Dakota began to make a connection with Miss Kirkbride and entered the OHS Compass program, she quickly began to show her strength as a learner and a leader. With a goal in her sights, Dakota showed that she had the ability, drive, and determination to be successful. She is hardworking and committed to her academic success. She also has demonstrated great leadership and mentorship on the OHS BIPOC panel, multicultural group, and was integral in the relaunch of the OHS drumming group. In these past 2 years, she has played a vital role in planning and leading events at OHS, their surrounding schools to recognize the Truth and Reconciliation Week and OHS's Indigenous Celebration Month. Dakota is a mentor to her peers and to younger students. OHS is a better learning community for all thanks to her example and her leadership. I think she would be the first to agree that there's still more work to be done, but she has forged a path for those who will come after her. Dakota is a driven young woman who has great things ahead of her. There is no doubt in my mind that the best is yet to come for Dakota, and I can't wait to hear all about her future endeavors. Thank you.
I have very few words, but I would like to say thank you to Miss Kirkbride, who sadly couldn't be here today, but she, along with Miss Nugent and Miss McConnell and many teachers at OHS, I was able to do and be here today. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Our next stop on our school journey is Harvey High School. Grade 12 student Mason Nicholson and the presenter, Ara Henry.
Mason, I can't believe we are here. I'm so proud of the person that you've become. For those of you that don't know, the Mason that is here with us today is not the same Mason that walked through the doors of Harvey High School 7 years ago. Mason joined us at Harvey High in grade 6, a kind, well-mannered young person, but struggled with his confidence and his insecurities. Unfortunately, many of his peers knew this about him and knew how to push just the right buttons to get a reaction that was loud, explosive, and then cause Mason to shut down academically and emotionally. Fortunately, Mason had an area that he could always find successes, his athletics. Mason has played many sports throughout his middle and high school years. This athletic career has included 2 basketball championships played at TD Station. His involvement in sports, I feel, truly helped shape him to the person he is today. While playing sports, Mason had to learn to control his frustrations, focus his efforts towards a central goal, and try his best to achieve the target. By grade 11, Mason took what he learned in sports and really started applying this to his academics. His teachers began to see better coping strategies, stronger work ethic, and more resiliency within himself. Now, when work in the classroom is difficult, Mason can try it before saying, "I can't." When he doesn't understand what a question, he will ask a question instead of just saying, "I'm stupid." When giving feedback, he asks how to improve instead of saying, "I just suck." As little as 2 years ago, Mason's teachers were concerned what Mason would do after high school because his self-confidence was so low. Now we feel confident that Mason can walk out of Harvey High's doors in a little less than 2 months, see a goal, figure out what he needs to achieve it, and take the steps to achieve that goal. Mason had the support and encouragement of Harvey High staff, as well as his patient and supportive mother, Laura, to get to this point. However, these positive changes were a result of Mason's choices. Congratulations, Masons, on putting in the effort to become a hardworking and kind young man you are today. We are so very proud of you.
Next, we go to Sunbury West. Colby Brenton, a grade 8 student, and Sarah Thornton is the presenter.
Everyone will face hard times at some point in their life. Sometimes the hardships are short-lived, while other times they feel like they will last forever. Even though those moments feel like they're going to break us, we each have incredible strength that can push us forward. Having the determination and mindset to persevere can make all the difference. In the face of adversity, when I think of perseverance and strength, I think of Colby Brenton. Colby holds a very special place in my heart and always will. I first met Colby when he arrived to us at Sunbury West School. Actually, he was only in grade 3 then. I had the privilege of teaching Colby that year and watching him as he settled into my classroom in our school. He had this way to him even then. With changes he was encountering as a young boy, he still came to school and tried his hardest to learn and be positive. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. I continued to teach Colby throughout his middle school years, building a close relationship. Colby, at only 15, has gone through more pain, devastation, and struggles than most will encounter. In the past 18 months, Colby has struggled with the worries of losing a parent to serious illness, followed by the sudden death of his younger sister. Colby has turned the pain and loss into reasons to persevere and face another day. His positive attitude is a calm to every storm he encounters. Colby takes his past experiences and embraces every opportunity to make our world a better place. In August of 2022, Colby's life was flipped upside down when his beautiful little sister suddenly passed. Skylar meant the world to Colby. He protected her, cared for her, watched over her, at home and at school. Colby's adoration of his sister was seen by all. He was an amazing older brother, and it was clear to see that Skylar felt that as well. He keeps his sister's memory alive by raising awareness and doing his part with the Skylar Strong Charity Foundation. His resilience and dedication to Skylar's memory is admired by all who know him. Colby's trials and tribulations have helped mold him into the amazing, funny, caring, and kind young man that he is today. I'm so proud of you. Your strength inspires us all.
I'd like to give a big thanks to Mom and Dad for helping me get through this hard time for the past 2 years. I'd like to thank my teachers at Sunbury West School for helping me with this past couple of years. Thank you.
And now we move on to Devon Middle School. Keisha McIntyre, grade 8 student, and Andrea Patterson is the presenter.
Good evening. Devon Middle School is very proud to present the Turnaround Achievement Award to Keisha McIntyre. Keisha has overcome a lot of adversity in her life, and we are all impressed and inspired by your resilience and determination. In the last 3 years, Keisha has demonstrated significant growth and maturity in managing relationships with her peers. She has learned to communicate more effectively, to become more patient and understanding of others' viewpoints, and to become a better listener. Keisha has matured and can admit, even though she loves the drama, it often leads to hurt feelings and broken relationships. She did admit this to the principal in her office. Keisha has also made great strides in the classroom. Her dedication and effort with her studies have increased each year, and we hope that this trend will continue into high school. Keisha is not afraid to speak her mind, to be true to herself, and to stand up for what she believes in. We admire this in Keisha and encourage her to continue to advocate for what she knows to be on the right path. We are also very proud to share that Keisha has learned to trust and confide in the adults at Devon Middle School. This has allowed us to see the beautiful young woman that she is. We are very proud of her growth and wish her the best of luck in the future. So congratulations, Keisha.
Thank you for all the teachers and staff that helped me along through this, especially Becky.
Did you see her? You do now. Well done. Minto Memorial High School, Alicia Beaulieu, a grade 12 student, is our next recipient. Shelley Casey is the presenter.
Good evening, distinguished guests. I would like to start by saying congratulations to Alyssa Beaulieu, Jacob Nearing, and all the Turnaround Achievement Award winners tonight. I always look forward to this event as there's so many amazing stories of perseverance. So I'm very thankful for the opportunity. Tonight I have the distinct pleasure of presenting the awards to Miss Alyssa B. Alyssa has overcome a lot in her life and is one of the most positive and enthusiastic people I've ever met. She's a little nervous, and I can feel it. You're making me nervous. It's good. It's a fun night.
Yeah.
As an example of her enthusiasm, when she comes to school every day, she gives our principal a big hug. So every single day she seeks him out. Over the past 4 years, she has developed into a well-rounded young person who advocates for herself and is always willing to lend a hand and to be a friend to anyone who needs it. We are very proud of her achievements and the positive impact she has made on our school. Her teachers enjoy her enthusiasm for learning and her perseverance in achieving her personal goal of going to NBCC to pursue a career that will allow her to help others. She would like to be an EA. I can't wait to hear all about your future endeavors. My heart is full, and I am so proud to have been asked to attend this event tonight to present the Turnaround Achievement Award to Alyssa B. It's moments like these that truly make me feel incredibly blessed to be an educator, so congratulations, Alyssa.
Thank you. Good evening, honored guests, family, and friends. Thank you so much. I especially want to thank Miss Casey for this award. This is such an honor to be here getting this very special award tonight. I'd also like to recognize and thank the Kingswood Turnaround Achievement Committee for making this possible. When I started high school, I was a shy 15-year-old, and everything about high school was new to me. I was scared and nervous about trying to fit in, but I got through it with the help of my family, my teachers, my friends, and the support of Mr. Arsenault and all my EAs. I am so grateful for all that people have done for me over my time at Minto Memorial High School, and I'm so excited to see what my future will look like. I'd like to congratulate all my fellow recipients, as I'm sure they worked as hard as I did in order to be standing up here tonight being celebrated. Thank you once again.
Staying in Minto, we will now move to the Minto Elementary Middle School. A grade 8 student, Holly Harrison, and Kinda Bryant is the presenter.
Good evening. Ken O'Brien actually couldn't make it, so my name's Jennifer LeBlanc, and I'll be the presenter for Holly this evening. I had the pleasure of meeting Holly when she was 8, and she walked into my grade 4 classroom. At that time, Holly was a lovely little girl. She was finding success at school. She had a passion for science. She was very social and loved her days at school. So upon entering middle school, during that time of a world pandemic, amongst other challenges, things for Holly became very challenging. Her attendance became sporadic. There were days that if she did show up, she might stay for an hour. We couldn't really get her at school for long periods of time. This caused a bit of a domino effect for Holly. Although highly intelligent, we saw a big decline in Holly's academics. Her absenteeism and loss of class time caused her report card to have little to no assessment completed on it. Holly was no longer the bubbly, friendly girl that we had always known. So if we fast forward to now, Holly's completing her grade 8. She is at school every single day. She's accountable not only for her attendance, but in her academic achievements. Holly's marks have gone through the roof. She's finding success in all of her academic classes. She's rekindled her interest in school, making her own goals on top of her academic goals, such as started writing her own poetry. She's striving to learn a new language. She's even gone as far as to try to memorize the periodic table of elements. Holly's very artistic. She's taken on a leadership role with our kindergarten students, and it's been filling her bucket so much that it's actually inspired Holly to pursue a future career in working with children with autism. So we have our bubbly, friendly Holly back. She has put lots of effort into her self-improvement and her own success, and we are all so proud of you, Holly, and we can't wait to see what you do. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Well done, Holly. My wife once told me the best speech you can ever give is stand up, say thank you, and plant your butt down in the chair. Minto Memorial High School, Jacob Nearing, a grade 12 student, is our next recipient, and Craig Richards will be the presenter.
Good evening, special guests, award recipients, and their families. I've had the privilege of working with Jacob throughout his academic career as his vice principal at Minto Elementary and Middle School, and as well at Minto Memorial High School. I have also coached him in basketball since the fall of 2019 and volleyball since the spring of 2021. Over this time, I've had the unique opportunity to watch Jacob grow and mature into the responsible young man he is today. Reflecting on his middle school years and early high school career, he did not show the determination and leadership necessary to be successful and reach his full potential academically. However, since the commencement of his grade 12 year, he has been laser focused on his academics and athletics, showing outstanding leadership qualities across the board Jacob has upheld an 85% average this year, maintaining his status on the honor roll. He has been voted by his peers as the grad class president and was selected by his teammates to be a co-captain of the varsity boys basketball team. All throughout the year, Jacob took part in school and community sports, playing soccer, basketball, hockey, badminton, and volleyball while staying focused on his academic goals. The school staff have appreciated the increase in his maturity, the ownership of his academic achievement, and his positive impact on classes and the school community. In the fall, Jacob will be attending NBCC with his heart set on becoming an industrial electrician. On behalf of the staff of Minto Memorial High School, I wish Jacob all the best in his future endeavors, and I look forward to hearing of his successes in life. It is with great honor that I present this Turnaround Achievement Award to Jacob Neary.
Yeah, maybe. Thank you.
Well, I don't got too much to say, but I want to say thank you to my parents and my coach Greg. And that's about it. That's all she wrote.
Our next recipient is from Fredericton High School, a grade 12 student, Robert Lovell, and the presenters, Crystal Rorty and Randy Campbell.
We do things a little differently in the trades department, and we like to gang up on the students, so there's 2-for-1 deal here. I'm sure you can't get away. So not realizing there would be so many people here, including bosses, I wrote a rap. So here we go. Some people might recognize the tune. Now this is a story all about how Robert's life turned all around, and I'd like to take a minute, I know you can afford, to listen to how Robert learned the Turnaround Award. In Keswick Ridge, Robert was raised on the apple orchards where he spent most of his days, picking apples, working hard, learning from Dad, and driving his dirt bike around the dirt pad. When summer was over, it was time for high school. An accident on the farm was really not cool. Robert now in charge, holding down the fort, balancing school and work, and teasing for sport. He begged and he pleaded with FHS staff. He already knew everything. Really, please don't laugh. It wasn't always easy and schoolwork was hard, but hey, I got Pop. You got a debit card? Now in grade 12, he's rocking his potential. We have no doubt he's going to be successful. With his quick wit, humor, and industry smarts, he's going to show the world the businesses he'll start.
I've been lucky enough, this is the third time I've gotten to present a turnaround award for a student that I've taught. And it's always very rewarding to see these young people turn around or find their own voice or their own path in life. With Robert, I don't want to say it's a turnaround. I think that's the wrong word. I think high school just finally caught up to him. I first met him when he came into the Applied Tech department for the first time when he was in grade 10 to take the BBT 10 or Intro to Applied Tech. And it didn't take long for Robert to make it clear to me that, you know, I wasn't really going to teach him much. He already knew it all. And he knew more than that class would ever cover. By the end of it, he did discover that always doing things his way wasn't going to work quite as well as he'd hoped. Robert's big thing, a couple big things in high school. One is he loves to find a shortcut. No matter what the instructions are, he's going to just work around, see if there's a shorter, easier way to get this done. Of course, he found out that doing it his way in the shop classes just meant he was going to start over and do it the right way. Or try to do it the right way. He was usually more interested in seeing what everyone else was doing, chatting with Matt or any of his other friends, and leaving his own work to the end, and that's why he needed that shortcut to catch back up. Through all of that, though, when called out, he just gave a big grin, and he's got two expressions, deadpan or a big grin. There's no in between. Though through all the big grin, a great deal of it, I think, was he was looking for that feedback of calling him on the little bit of trying to get around the rules. Same as the selling pop. He started selling pop out of his backpack, carrying it around. Then he found out pop wasn't as good a seller as iced tea. And so pop was gone. It was all iced tea from that point on. And then it was like, well, geez, this isn't going as good as I'd hoped. No one has cash anymore. So the next day he showed up with a debit machine. Yeah. There's no doubt in my mind, as far as an entrepreneur, there's no end to what Robert can do. One of his favorite pastimes in the classroom, though, is trying to turn any discussion and take it off on a tangent. And if he can find a teacher that's willing to follow him down a rabbit hole, he'll take them there. And he'll do it with that sly grin as he watches them start to follow. And if he saw it was a teacher that he could wind up, that would bite, he'd love nothing more than to watch that person spin out of control. There's a couple of teachers that, well, one in particular that I know Robert could wind up just by slowing down when he walked by his classroom and looking in. Of course, Robert's response to that was to always slow down and look in when he went by this guy's classroom. A lot of it's still the same, the impish teasing, the big grin when he's called out on something he's done. But the great sense of humor is the big thing that's going to take him far, and he's already got more money than I do. The difference now is instead of being distracting, he's helping other students, finding what they need, giving them instruction and guidance. Instead of trying to wind people up, there was a supply teacher in today in one class, and I was talking to the supply teacher in the afternoon. He said, well, this guy just walked into my classroom at one point, because between Miss Roherty's classroom and mine, that's where he spends usually period 1 and 2, back and forth. Well, this supply teacher said, I don't think this kid was even in my class. And it didn't take long that we were talking, and he was telling me about who I could get for an excavator in this area, and he had already planned out this guy's shed for him. I won't take up too much time, but I want to thank Robert, and from one guy with dirty hands to another.
I first met Robert during first semester when he arrived in Mr. Campbell's room with Pop and a debit machine in hand. He was late to class and needed one of us to unlock the door for him. He chatted for a bit first, updating us on what was going on with him, then decided it was time he finally head to class, knowing full well he had waited just enough time that this period 1 teacher would be seriously annoyed that we were letting him into class. Robert always seemed to keep a keen eye on where there's a niche market to tap into. If the school didn't have it and students wanted it, Robert tried to make it happen. If a teacher had a pet peeve, he could probably help them out with that too. This semester, Robert has been working on building a chainsaw, fixing various pieces of equipment, and prepping his lawnmower for summer work. Robert always has a long-term plan and doesn't shy away from offering to hire other students for the work. He has mastered the manager strategy of delegate, delegate, delegate. But this is only so he can keep busy running more than one business at a time. I'm almost tired thinking about it. He also never shies away from a bet. Just last week, I found myself hunting for a tool because he had bet a buddy $10 he could get the timing chain off, and he wasn't about to lose. Robert has a clear natural talent as an entrepreneur. He knows how to guide others and persuade them to get the work done without being harsh. Watching from just a few feet away in the shop, I see him demonstrate what to do, informs them of the plan of action, then he sets them off to work. He ensures that he's created an environment where expectations are clear and those working are motivated to get the job done. This is a skill that many never figure out. I like to think I'm supervising him, but I'm pretty sure I'm learning from him how to motivate high schoolers to get work done. Robert has shared on various occasions about his businesses and his plans after high school. He is already well on his way with plans for equipment purchases, formulating business plans, and ways to invest his money to ensure it's kept safe. I have no concern that Robert Level will be a name that I hear often within the community after being a successful business owner and someone people look forward to working with and for. All I ask, Robert, is that you save me a spot in your business. I have a business degree and I can drive a loader, and when this teaching thing doesn't pan out, I'm giving you a phone call. Congratulations.
I'd like to thank Mrs. Rorty and Mr. Campbell.
From what I just heard, Robert, you might want to consider politics in your future. No offense, Premier. Fredericton High School is also the stop for Raven Scott, a grade 12 student, and Diane Langell will be the presenter.
It is my pleasure to present to you Raven Scott. Raven has been an FHS student since 2019. You may be thinking, another COVID year student, but Raven actually had decided to withdraw from FHS prior to COVID to try homeschooling. Raven had actually missed a great deal of time in middle school prior to COVID as well. School and Raven just were not a good fit. Fighting through juvenile arthritis, having a great deal of anxiety, and dealing with personal issues was all Raven had energy for in the run of a day. When Raven did attend school, they had an adjusted plan as we saw little academic output, and there were many gaps due to poor attendance. Raven's grade 10 year, one day on, one day off, due to COVID, did not work well for Raven either. We rarely saw Raven in the building. There was some distance learning happening, but there wasn't any consistency there to truly know what Raven was truly capable of. Entry year 11, wow. Raven came into my office to discuss courses and wanted to know what they needed to graduate on time. As you can probably tell, Raven had not completed much work in grade 9 or 10, so they were behind by quite a few courses, so we discussed options. If Raven could pass all their courses over the next 2 years, then it was possible for them to get an adult high school diploma and have enough courses to go to college. Now, keep in mind that Raven hadn't completed a full year of courses ever. So this was going to be a long shot. But Raven surprised everyone. Raven began attending school. They reached out for support when they were struggling. They stepped up when they thought they weren't going to be able to continue. In grade 12, I sat with Raven in my office and I said, "Did you know you were that smart?" And very humbly, Raven replied, "It's just something everyone does." Raven had successfully come off adjustments and was doing academic courses with grades in the 80s and 90s. Their attendance went from more than 50 days absent in one semester to maybe 15 days absent. They were hanging out in the cafeteria after school with friends, taking a leadership role in Safe Place, trying to make sure that FHS is welcoming for everyone. Yes, others may be able to attend school and get good grades, but others did not miss most of their schooling for 4 years. Others did not have juvenile arthritis or suffer from extreme anxiety like they did. This, Raven, is a huge achievement, and you should be very proud. I certainly am.
Thank you. I would like to preface this by saying I wasn't prepared to give a speech, so this is all just sort of from my head. Firstly, I would like to thank my friends for everything, and unfortunately, one of them couldn't be here tonight, but if you're watching this, hi Simon. Your game sessions have been the highlight of my week, and thank you for that. Secondly, I would like to thank my teachers, particularly Mr. Angus. Without his math classes, I probably wouldn't have gotten to this point. Mr. Diamond for being an excellent art teacher, and Mix Morrison in particular, thank you. You're probably the first non-binary person that I've met in person, and thank you for being such an amazing teacher. Being diagnosed with autism and arthritis at a young age made things very difficult for me, and I just wanted to say thank you to all the people who supported me along the way.
And staying with the FHS theme, our next recipient is Ellie Resmer, and Diane is going to read all about our grade 12 recipient.
Eli Resmer. He's quite a guy. Eli is the quietest person, or was the quietest person, I have ever met. If he could fade into the background everywhere he went, he was fine. He did not want to be noticed or signaled out in any way, especially in grade 9 and 10. Eli was more of a victim of COVID. I think he would have come out of his shell a little earlier if he could have been here in school full time during COVID. But I believe COVID and it being in a lockdown really caused a little bit of a delay in how he's performed in school more recently. I bet you love being home during COVID. The more safe he felt at home, the better. Because he wasn't somebody who ever wanted to interact with a big group of people. So attending FHS, not easy, over 2,000 students and over 130 teachers. Attending school regularly has been very difficult over the years. It was so obvious that he was a brilliant student academically, but he just couldn't find it in himself to get out of bed and attend school. Now, it wasn't just not wanting to come to school. Eli wanted to come to school. He knew he was very smart, but he was often sick, stomach trouble, headaches, and his parents were really good at trying to support him and figuring out what was going on so that they could get him to school more often. Balancing physical needs with the knowledge of school anxiety is hard for both the student and the parents. But luckily, his parents encouraged him as much as they could to get him to come to school. So thank you, Mom and Dad. I've talked to you often on the phone. Grade 9 and 10 were tough on Eli, as I mentioned earlier. COVID was not easy to navigate, and going back to school with over 2,000 students was not easy for really a lot of students. So by the end of grade 11, Eli had passed enough courses to graduate this year, but he needed all 10 to pass. Eli had never passed all 10 courses before due to attendance issues, but this year has been spectacular. His attendance has improved drastically. He has been participating in class, and his teachers have told me that he is a joy to teach and an asset to have in the classroom. He doesn't fade into the background anymore. He wants to be seen, and he offers his voice as required. Eli has really turned things around from being a shy kid who sat alone in the guidance office during lunch hour. He spent many lunch hours hanging out there when he was at school. But now, sadly, I barely see him. He's on his own, doing his own thing on lunch hours now. And he's reaching out for support and as needed, and he's also become a very independent learner. His marks have been incredible. He has big plans for his future. He will hopefully get to UNB and study computer science in his future. I know he will be successful in any path he takes. Congratulations, Eli.
Words can't express just how grateful I am to stand here today. But here I'm talking anyways. I remember my first day of grade 11. I was outside my homeroom, just standing there as I usually did. And then my homeroom teacher told me that I just didn't make it that year. I would have to change my homeroom. I went to the office to ask the lady there for a schedule. And that schedule said I was still in grade 10. I started crying. I went home. But if you told me then that I would graduate on time from FHS, I would be so happy, because I just want to thank Miss Langell for always being there and looking out for me. I want to thank my mom and dad as well. That's all.
Well done, Eli. Our next recipient, a grade 12 student from FHS, Tasha Weedick, and Greg Porter is the presenter.
All right, good evening, everyone. It is my great pleasure to have nominated Tasha Weedick to be the recipient of the 2023 Kingswood Turnaround Achievement Award from Fredericton High School. When I first met Tasha during her grade 9 year at FHS, she was requiring support to find her locker, get to the proper bus stop, and just to get from class to class. She faced many challenges on a daily basis, but Tasha always came out on top. Tasha's dependence on adults to help find her way gradually faded away, both in and outside of a school setting. However, over the last 4 years, she has not only found the most incredible version of herself, but she is also helping others, both in and outside of the school, to do the same. Tasha's rise to a leadership position within the Best Buddies program at FHS, as well as her co-op placement at Shanix, which has turned into a full-fledged part-time job, is a true testament to the inner growth she experienced over the last 4 years. Watching Tasha flourish as both a student and contributing member of her community has been a highlight of my career as an educator in New Brunswick. While Tasha's vast community of support has always seen her potential, the true reward was watching her realize just how hardworking, dedicated, and intelligent and caring she truly is. No matter where you go in the future, Tasha, just remember you have overcome a lot to get there. So enjoy every moment, even the tough ones, as they will continue to shape the amazing person you are today. Congratulations, Tasha. You deserve this recognition. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tasha Weddick, and I'm a student from FHS. I want to start off by thanking you for having me today. It's truly an honor. Firstly, thank you to Mr. Porter and all my EAs and teachers for supporting me in all my classes during this time at FHS. They have given me extra time and helping me when I needed it. Mr. Porter has supported me since grade 9 and has given me guidance and helped me grow and develop in my time in school. I have the biggest thank you to them for helping me, and I wouldn't be where I am today without them. Special thanks to my BP and my guidance counselor for offering me good advice and offering time and support through my years. Thank you, for Mr. Batt and Mrs. Langell. Biggest thanks to my family and friends for all the support and guidance they have given me through my whole life. They always knew that I would be successful if I put my mind to it. I would be able to do it. In the future, I know that I will continue being successful and to continue learning new things, to achieving great things because of the support I had in high school. Thank you so much for this award. I am truly grateful to be chosen. I know there are so many other students who are just as deserving as this award.
Our next recipient, also a grade 12 student from FHS, Devin Byers, and Noella Young is the presenter.
Good evening. When I first found out that Devin would receive a Turnaround Achievement Award, I was so excited for him because in my mind, he embodies the spirit of everything this award stands for. My very next thought was that I needed to keep my words about him short and sweet because he himself is a young man of few words and he does not enjoy the spotlight. Devin Byers first arrived at Fredericton High School kicking and screaming, metaphorically speaking, of course. He did not want to be in school, and he didn't care who knew that. From the very beginning, he struggled with attendance. Often when he did make it to school, he didn't always make it to classes, and even when he did come to class, getting work out of him was sometimes a painful task. In those early years, Devin was often called to the office, and when he was, we knew it wasn't for good reasons. In spite of all of this, anybody who truly knew Devin saw his warm smile, his big heart, and knew that he would come around eventually, even if he was his own worst enemy in those days. Sorry. When Devin was in my grade 11 English class, I honestly didn't know if we could get him through, because I learned pretty early on that no amount of persuading, bargaining, or differentiating made any difference. Devin did what Devin wanted to do. This is exactly how I knew that Devin's journey would only straighten out when he made that choice for himself. And thankfully, it was later during that grade 11 year when he finally turned his own mind around. He was going to get through no matter what. Fast forward to this year, his grade 12 year, and Devin is present, doing his work, and on track to graduate in June. He's still a little uncertain of the exact plans after graduation, but he is looking at a bright future. Devin pops his head in my door a few times a week to say hey and to let me know how things are going. And every time he walks away, I can't help but beam with pride because that's what is reflecting off him. Devin brings in friends and his younger siblings to meet me and says, "Mrs. Jung, if you ever see them getting into trouble, stop them, because if you don't, I'm going to kick their butts until they behave better." A moment that really blew me away happened earlier this semester when Devin stopped by to tell me about a young student that he's been working with through his co-op program, an elementary student with Down syndrome who has found a place in Devin's heart. "Mrs. Jung, he's the most awesome little guy. You should see him." Devin's eyes were so full of joy when he told me this, and I couldn't help but think of how far we've come from the boy we used to worry so much about. He now walks with his head held high, a young man on his way in this world, thanks to his own determination and perseverance. When reaching out to Devin's other teachers, I heard things like, "Devin completed the most awesome presentation for me. He just did an excellent job on the information and carrying himself through giving the talk to his class." From another teacher, "When Devin gets involved in our classroom discussion, I know he's going to make it better." And from yet another, "He's one of the hardest working young men I've ever seen." From my own perspective, Devin is a gifted writer, a determined student, and above all else, and I think most importantly, a genuinely kind and good human being. Devin, I am so proud of you and the amazing young man that you have become. I'm so glad that you have taken charge of your own future. I have no doubt that you will be a great success.
Devin said he'd email it. I like that. Harold Peterson Middle School is the location for our next recipient, grade 8 student Joshua Gayford. And I would ask Kelly Donovan and Chris Harrietta to please come forward, please.
Good evening and congratulations to all award recipients. My name is Krista Harrietta. I am the resource teacher at Harold Peterson Middle School in Ormucto. It is with great pleasure and pride that we present Joshua Gayford with the 2023 Kingswood Turnaround Achievement Award. I have had the pleasure of being Josh's teacher in grade 6 and now his resource teacher in grade 8. Looking back to grade 6, things did not always come easy for Josh. He often arrived feeling unsettled and not prepared for the day. Academics often seemed to be the least of his priorities. There were even times when Josh would be sent home to reset for a fresh start. Josh received lots of support when he started middle school to focus on positives to succeed in this new challenge. Speaking now as his grade 8 teacher, Joshua has not only grown much taller since grade 6, he has grown in many personal ways as well. During his time at Harold Peterson, Josh has become more composed, motivated, helpful, friendly, and polite. Frustration and behavioral issues were normal for many of Josh's days in school. Of Joshua's difficulties, navigating friendships and leaving class frequently were common due to dysregulation. Grade 7 would see Josh continue to experience many of these struggles. It wasn't uncommon last year to find Josh hiding behind a door or under the stairs. I am very pleased to tell you that Josh started to show growth in these areas by the end of grade 7. Josh began to mature. He was able to take ownership of his behaviors, deal with his work avoidance head on, and he became much less defiant. As a result, he developed more stamina for being in the classroom and better friendships. In his grade 8 year, Josh has made a great leap forward, and although not perfect every day, he has become much more engaged in his classes. When he requires a few moments to collect his thoughts and emotions, he will often stop in for a quick visit with Mrs. Donovan and his buddy Barkley, our school rabbit. As the resource teacher located in the grade 8 hallway, I see Josh often. He stops by my room several times a day for a chat, or more likely to provide me with a new history fact he knows very well. Every teacher and EA who has had the opportunity to work with Josh comment on the positive changes this student has made. Is there still room for growth? Yes, of course, but Josh is a student that represents turnaround achievement. He has improved his behavior, academics, and overall attitude. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to recognize this resilient and kind student, Joshua Gayford.
Oh, God. I don't think I'm actually ready.
It's okay. You can just say thank you.
I don't know.
No? You're good?
Mm-hmm.
You're good?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Thank you.
Well done, Joshua. Sometimes the best words are the ones that are never said. Enterprise Education Center, our next recipient, Jade Murchison Purley, grade 12, and the presenter is Rachel Binns.
The staff of Enterprise are proud to present the Turnaround Achievement Award to Jade Murchison Purley. Jade has fire in her spirit, and she is a natural-born leader. In the past, her fiery energy has taken her down paths that didn't serve her, and she was in school feeling undriven, negative, and aimless. In the past year, she has made a choice to use her bountiful energy for her own good and to bolster others. She can get anyone up and moving, but the most important person she has learned to move is herself. She is taking herself down healthy paths that nourish her and are helping her become the positive leader she can be in her communities. She works diligently at school, focused on her goals, and she continually rebounds when her edges are pressed. We are so proud of Jade for taking the opportunities of life and embracing them, learning from the hard parts or growing despite them. Jade is a force, and we cannot wait to see where life takes her next. Congratulations, Jade.
Jade's going to be a politician. She just said no comment. Also from the Enterprise Education Center, grade 12 student Zach Kelly and Joel Arsenault is the presenter. No, no?
No, it's me.
Oh, okay.
Still me presenting.
The staff of Enterprise are proud to present the Turnaround Achievement Award to Zach Kelly. Zach said that 2 years ago, they would have been found sitting on the floor in the corner of the classroom, withdrawn and alone, given up on finishing high school and given up on themselves. Now, Zach is effusively positive, helping other students and teachers readily, working hard while honoring their limits and pushing their comfort zone to the most they can out of their schooling and out of life. They have truly overcome their anxiety. Zach will be attending MBCC to pursue a program in social service community work so that they can share their story and encourage others to edit their self-stories to reflect their true power and potential just as they have. Congratulations to Zach.
I'd like to thank, well, all of my teachers, and my teachers when I started in grade 9 back in Minto Memorial. They helped me through a lot back then, and I wouldn't have even considered thanking them and getting myself to this point back then. I used to go by a totally different name. I used to be a totally different person. You wouldn't even recognize me if you knew me back then to now. I wouldn't be standing here talking to you guys back then. I was so closed off and anxious. I told stories about myself that weren't true, just to get attention. Now I am telling actual stories about myself, getting attention for something I actually did. And I don't know how. Thank you.
And our next recipient, also from the Enterprise Education Center, grade 12 student, Danny Fitzgerald, and Gordish Malhotra will be the presenter. Huh?
The staff of Enterprise are proud to present the Turnaround Achievement Award to Danny Fitzgerald. Danny has no definite educational plans for after graduation, but the Turnaround Award has opened her mind and made her excited about the possibilities going forward. When teachers gathered to discuss the Turnaround Achievement Award, Danny's name was brought up with radiant enthusiasm and pride. Teachers who have seen her over the last 2 years have witnessed a blossoming. It is important that we acknowledge the need for the darkness of the cocoon before the transformation into who we were always meant to be. Danny has been through dark times, and has shown up for herself and fought for the person she is. Danny wows us with her calm and grounded presence. She is deeply caring and aware of others. She is welcoming and kind to new students and treats everyone with thoughtful respect. She listens with intention and makes people feel valued. Danny is a gift to every space she enters, and we could not be prouder of the person she continues to become. Congratulations, Danny.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a good round of applause for all of our recipients tonight. Well done by all of you. An important part of tonight is the scholarship program. In addition to special awards, each grade 12 student continuing their education receives a $1,000 scholarship from Kingswood. A certificate confirming that scholarship will be presented to each student as they move through the receiving line. And since the inauguration of the program, as we mentioned earlier, 28 years ago, 1,040 students have received $516,000 in scholarships through 22 different schools in the greater Fredericton area. The funds that support the granting of these scholarships are raised through various fundraisers held throughout the year, designed and led by the Kingswood Turnaround Achievement Awards Organizing Committee, and the Kingswood Turnaround Achievement Awards is a registered Canadian charity. So all the monies awarded by scholarship are paid to the students' school of choice or institution of choice in their name, pending confirmation of acceptance, to be used for tuition, living costs, or other educational expenses incurred through the institution. Any overage, unused fees, or cancellation of student status will see that portion of the funds returned to the Turnaround Achievement Awards or to the scholarship donor. Our own local NHL player, Jake Allen, a graduate of Leo Hayes High School, a goaltender now for the Montreal Canadiens, has established a fundraising program called Program 34, and it's for local charities. He has become a major supporter of the Kingswood Awards for the last 5 years, last year donating $10,000. And we have a short video from Jake.
Hi everyone, it's Jake Allen here. I just want to welcome you guys all to the 2023 Kingswood Turnaround Achievement Awards. I'd like to congratulate everyone sitting in the audience today on the hard work and dedication, perseverance to achieve these awards. I really want to congratulate everyone who is receiving the Jake Allen Scholarship Award and hopefully can make a difference in your futures. Myself and my wife Shan, again, want to congratulate everyone in attendance tonight. Thank you to Kingswood very much for the continued support of this event, Program 34, and everything they do for our community. So congratulations, have a great night, and all the best.
Thank you, Jake. Now we get to the exciting part of this evening's ceremony with the presentation of individual scholarships to some of tonight's graduating recipients. And these are funded through the support of individuals and corporations and institutional partners. The first scholarship presentation, the Nashwaaksis Lions Club Scholarship to the value of $1,000. It's in its 12th year of being offered. It's being presented tonight by Lions Club member Claire Hawkins, who is in his 57th year with the club, and Dwayne Craig, who is the incoming president. The recipient from Leo Hayes High School, Ethan Lozier. As mentioned earlier, Ethan unfortunately is under the weather tonight and cannot be here, but I guarantee you he will get that $1,000 to continue his studies in the fall. Our next scholarship, donated by the Learning Bar, will be presented by Colette Wasson. The Learning Bar is a research-based education company that provides tools and solutions designed to inform educators, guide school planning, and give a voice to students, parents, and teachers. It's the 9th year the Learning Bar has been a partner in the program. It's valued at $1,000. It's awarded to Harvey High School student Mason Nicholson. Come on up, Mason. Mason will be working towards becoming an HVAC apprentice this fall. All right, the next scholarship, the New Brunswick Society of Retired Teachers Central Branch Scholarship, valued at $1,000, presented by Rod Campbell, president of the Central Branch. It goes to, from Oromocto High School, Olivia Bonner. And Olivia will be working towards becoming a personal support worker at NBCC. The Retired Teachers Group has been supporting the program for 10 years, and we're very appreciative of their continued focus on our youth. The next 2 scholarships are awarded by the New Brunswick Community College, NBCC. They provide post-secondary education on 6 campuses across the province in more than 90 programs. This is NBC's 12th year as a partner with the Turnaround program. Each scholarship presented is in the amount of $1,000 and will be presented by Christina Nickel, Development Officer at the NBCC Fredericton campus. 1 scholarship, the first one, is being awarded to Lily Roberts from Chipman Forest Avenue High School. And Lily will be attending NBCC's Fredericton campus and is enrolled in the business admin accounting course. The second NBCC scholarship is awarded to Alicia Beaulieu of Minto High School. Alicia will be attending NBCC to complete the early childhood program. Next scholarship, valued at $1,000, is presented by the Omega Restaurant in Minto, the 2nd year of their involvement of the program. The winner will be presented their scholarship by Chairman Gary DiPaolo. The winner is Jacob Nearing from Minto Memorial High School. Jacob will be attending NBCC in St. Andrews, working towards an industrial electrician. In June of 2016, the Kingswood family tragically lost a great and beautiful person, Jennifer Brewer. Jen was known for her kindness, her beautiful smile, and positive disposition. She touched many lives, and for that, we're left with beautiful memories. And while we're saddened by our loss, we know that Jen would be honored that Kingswood is donating an annual $1,000 scholarship in her memory to the Kingswood Turnaround Awards. The Jen Brewer Memorial $1,000 Scholarship will be presented by Denise Johnson from Kingswood and is being awarded to Raven Scott from Fredericton High School. Raven plans on furthering his education at the University of Toronto, studying art and design next year. Next up is the University of New Brunswick Scholarship. I was never smart enough to get one of those. This one's valued at $5,000. It'll be presented tonight by Rochelle Corey, Director of Undergraduate Awards. UNB offers undergraduate and graduate degrees in more than 60 disciplines and continuing education in a variety of fields. This is UNB's 16th year as a partner in this program. Receiving the UNB scholarship of $5,000 from Macadam High School, Boyd LaRiviere. Boyd will be enrolled at the St. John campus of UNB in the Bachelor of Arts program in the fall. The Jake Allen Scholarship, valued at $2,000, is being presented to two students, $1,000 each, and it'll be presented by Marty Forsyth, a member of the Turnaround Achievement Awards Committee and also a member of the Jake Allen Charity Golf Classic, and two students sharing the award. The first, Tasha Wiedik, Fredericton High School. Tasha plans to study at NBCC in the Early Childhood Education program. The second $1,000 winner of the Jake Allen Scholarship from the Enterprise Center, Jade Murchison. Jade is planning on taking the Social Service Community Worker program at MCC or NBCC in the fall here in Fredericton. The next scholarship is from the Radisson Kingswood Hotel at Kingswood Park. Presenting the award will be the General Manager, Paul Sherman. The $1,000 award goes to Zach Kelly from the Enterprise Center. Zach will be attending NBCC to follow the Social Service Community Worker program. We are pleased to have Eastern College as one of our supporters again this year. Representing Eastern College is Marina Burchill. She will present their $1,000 scholarship to Oromocto High School student Dakota Nash. Dakota will be enrolled in the Personal Support Worker course in the fall. We are very pleased to announce the newest scholarship, valued at $1,000, from the law firm of Stewart McKelvey. Making the presentation is Allison McCarthy. From Stewart McKelvey, the recipient, Caitlin O'Toole. Caitlin will be attending NBCC in the fall. This year we have a student attending Mount Allison University in Sackville. Presenting the scholarship on behalf of Mount A is Kingswood Turnaround Chairman Gary DiPaolo. This scholarship is worth an amazing $8,500 and is renewable for 4 years. Total of $29,500. The recipient from Cambridge Narrows Community School, Monique McPherson Beck. Monique will be enrolled at Mount A in the Bachelor of Arts program. Congratulations, that is a great leg up. Our last scholarship is presented in the memory of Nick Plimmer, who worked tirelessly with at-risk students in School District 17 and 18. This program was very dear to his heart. We are very pleased to have Nick's son, Dan and Chris, here this evening. Dan will present the scholarship in the amount of $2,000 to Eli Resmer from Fredericton High School. Eli will be moving on to study computer science at UNB, and we wish you well. That concludes our scholarship presentation. In a total this evening, 20 graduating students are eligible for $45,000 in their future dreams. We thank sincerely the program partners, NBCC, St. Thomas University, UNB, Atlantic Business College, the Learning Bar, Radisson Kingswood Hotels, Central Branch of NB Retired Teachers, the Nashwauk Citizen Lions Club, Crandall University, the Jen Brewer family, Stuart McKelvey, Program 34, Jake Allen, Nick Plimmer family, Eastern College, Mount A, and the Omega Restaurant. And we would also like to thank the following who are integral in this evening's program: Outreach Productions, Encore Video, Audio and Visual, Anglophone West School District, Mr. Keith Minchin behind the camera, and the Crown Plaza. Now, this program would not continue without the support of Brian Johnson at Kingswood. For Brian, it's an opportunity to make a difference in the community and the lives of the young people we have recognized here tonight. And what a legacy it is, Brian. On behalf of everybody here tonight, thank you very much. In just a moment, we will ask our students to form a receiving line over by the exit. And I'd ask that as you leave, take a moment on your way out, shake a hand, offer some words of encouragement, congratulate them on their tremendous achievements. Also, photos and videos, or photios, whatever you want to call them, of tonight's ceremony can be found at kingswoodpark.ca under Turnaround Achievement Awards. Words of wisdom, not likely coming from me, but to the students who are here tonight and have been recipients of awards, maybe two things. One, your attitude is important. When I began my working career after graduating from university, I had a sign above my desk that said life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. It's all about your attitude. A lot of things will happen to you in your life, but it's how you handle it that counts. When I went on to UNB after my radio career, that slogan became a screensaver on my computer. The other bit of advice I might give you was given to me early in my radio career. I was a young pup on a morning show with a guy by the name of Brad Woodside. He came along, became mayor, I think, for a while here. And one morning we were complaining about something, or I was. I might have been sick or had a headache, whatever. And my boss, Jack Fennedy was his name, called me into his office and he said, "Young man, nobody on the other end of that microphone with a radio on gives a rat's you-know-what, whether you have a broken arm, your cat died, you wrecked your car, or you have no money. All they want is the music, the information, a few laughs, some news, some sports, whatever you've got. So when you go in that studio and that on-air button is there and you push it, you hit the switch." And that's one thing that was ingrained in my mind and has been ever since. You're not always going to have a great day. It may not start out great, but if you hit the switch, it'll be better. And hitting the switch is a learned phenomenon. It's not automatic. You have to learn how to hit the switch. So that's my only advice to you tonight, folks. Thank you all for being here. It's been a pleasure. Thank you to our special guests. Congratulations to our Turnaround Achievement Award winners. Thank you, Kingswood. Thank you, Brian Johnson. Have a great night. Thank you.